Hello guys, thanks for joining me. Well, it's a rainy morning. It's a typical Scottish summer's day. It's pouring down with rain. So what I've done is I've just taken out that box from my attic, and I take it out once a year, and it has my train set in it. And once a year I build up my train sets just to make sure that they still work and that they're all clean and as I say, still in functional order. And unfortunately the rest of the year it stays in that box there. So I thought today we'll have a little look at my train sets. I really do like model trains. Unfortunately I do not have the space for a permanent setup in my house. I've often thought about building a train set in my garage, but because of dampness and dust and dirt and everything else, spiders, webs and the like, I've never done that yet. So anyhow, my train sets are in that box there, and what I'll do is we'll take them out and I'll set up the train set in my kitchen, as I do, as I say, once a year, just make sure everything is running fine, and we'll just have a closer look at all these items. Well, as you can see, everything is securely packaged up. I've got my little helper here helping me. So what I need to do first of all is just get rid of all the packaging, and then we'll unwrap everything. But as I say, I've got all my models in here. They're mostly German Fleischmann and British Hornby in here. I've also got a collection of cars here. These I bought as a kid back in Germany. And these were by the German company Viking. That's a nice Opel Blitz there anyhow. So anyhow, as I say, I'm just going to unpack it and get rid of all this packing here to begin with. I've got some of the items in boxes, but a lot of the items are just, as you can see, unboxed. This is a nice item here. It's a electrical train, but unfortunately it doesn't work. The motor is burnt out. So these are the Viking car models that I bought. I bought these when I was living in Germany, so they're more than 40 years old. And they're just little plastic cars. I'm not quite sure exactly the scale that they're in, but they're quite small anyhow. They're smaller than HO scale. Might do a separate video on these in another video, but that's the little car collection that I've got there. Right, I've just laid out the train sets that I've got, which are unboxed. So in the front here is my very first train set that I ever had, and my father bought me that when I was a kid. It's the only items that I've got left. I don't have the original track or transformer system anymore, but it's a Fleischmann goods set. And as I say, the other coaches and trains are unboxed. So these three are Hornby. These are interesting. These are metal, and these were made in the US zone in Germany, post-war Germany. So these were made in Bavaria. The American zone, I think Fleischmann was based in Nuremberg. So as I say, you can just about see, I think maybe the Fleischmann made in US zone Germany. I bought these off eBay some years back. So these are post-war, and these are Fleischmann coaches. This is the odd one out. I'm not sure exactly what company made that. It says made in France for Playcraft, but it's the only item that isn't German or British. And that came originally with my set here. I'm not sure where my father got that from. And then I've got that electric loco here. Unfortunately, as I said, the motor is burnt out. It no longer works, which is a shame. I think this is called a Ginty. It's a British Railways livery, so post-war. It's probably my favorite Hornby train that I've got. And this is a Caledonian Railways locomotives. So anyhow, as I say, these are the items in my collection in my train set which are unboxed. Moving on, I've got my boxed items, and again, as I say, it's a combination of German Fleischmann and British Hornby. And I've also got a selection of Triang Hornby goods wagons in the front here. Again, all of these items I bought off eBay. So again, we got a boxed Jinty, that's quite a nice one. We've got a diesel shunter here, a Fleischmann diesel locomotive, and a series of goods wagons, and again Hornby. I do like Hornby, and I really wish I had the space to set up a permanent train set. My plan had always been to build a 6 foot by 4 foot train set layout, a diorama. As I say, I don't have space for that unfortunately at the moment, but for that reason I bought these track extension kits here. So I've got 2 track packs A, 2 track sets B, and 1 C pack. I've also got a branch line Hornby station there. Again, I bought all these from eBay, and that is the pack I'm going to use now for setting up my diorama on the kitchen floor. And lastly, I've got my Caledonian local train set. It's the only box set I've got, and again, I bought this off eBay some years back. I live in Scotland, so I've always wanted to kind of make a Scottish local branch line layout. So I bought that for that particular reason, and it's got a nice little set here. Comes with the locomotive and 3 coaches. Got a nice looking box here anyhow. So that makes up my train collection as it stands at the moment. And that's the insert. Actually looks quite nice when it's built up. Right, I've just built up my train set as I would like to have built it up on a proper table. As I say, I just haven't got the room for it, but it's running quite nicely at the moment. This is approximately what I would have built. As I say, my ultimate aim is to build up a 6 by 4 foot train set, and it's running quite nicely with the Caledonian Railway locomotive there. Just going round and round and round. So I've got a siding over in the corner there, and I would have a little branch line there. Right, I've set up the layout as I would like to have set it up, and I've got 2 trains running out on it at the moment. I've got the Jinty hauling some freight, and that's all Triang freight wagons. The Jinty is a Hornby, and I've got the Caledonian Railway local passenger service. So as you can see, I've got 2 train sets running here. I've got the Hornby branch line station house there with a bus there. I've also got a industrial setup there, so I've got the diesel shunter with a shell gas and another little wagon in the back there, and I've got another local passenger line here, another Jinty, and my station, if you can read it, if it focuses, would have been called Craigowl, so it would have been a Scottish branch line, maybe of the 1930s or 1950s period. So as I say, that's the Caledonian one there, and that's the Jinty freight. that's the two controllers that I've got at the moment. There's my cat keeping an eye on things. So it seems to be working fine. As I say, the setup's been all year up in the attic, and once a year or so I take them down just to make sure everything works fine, everything's still clean. And maybe one day I'll set it up properly and have a nice railway set somewhere. So I've got my second set running, so I've got another local there, another passenger. It's a mixed freight and passenger. It's another Genty, and I've got the industrial unit there, a shunter. So that's the diesel shunter. It's a little bit noisy, I might have to oil it a little bit, but it seems to be working fine otherwise. And it's just lost the wagon. It's probably running a little bit too fast anyhow. So anyhow, as I say, that's the second set of Hornby trains that I've got. So this is my original train set, which was given back in Germany back in the 1970s. I've only got the train left. As I say, I don't have the tracks or anything else that came with it. And as I say, it's a Fleischmann set. So it's just a good set. And I remember my father setting up the train set for me back in the kind of mid-1970s. Had a lot of fun with this little train. And I'm quite pleased that I managed to keep it over these years.